Hello, folks, and welcome to the Season 2 premiere of NL Now on NTV. I am your host, Mr. Gary Wheeseltin. I am so excited to be here this morning for our season premiere. I had a wonderful break on my summer doing a little staycationing across the province, and of course I was very busy filming this upcoming season for all of you, the viewers at home, who we so greatly appreciate for tuning in. And you guys, you all made last season such a great success, so we really want to thank you and all of our guests and all of our friends at NTV. Well, who do we have on this morning's season premiere? We have NTV's own Toni-Marie Wiseman sitting in the interview chair, and on our musical guest set we have one of Newfoundland and Labrador's newest up-and-coming country music trios. Here they are now to perform one of their newest songs. Please welcome Ladylike.
NASCAR purse, tie, acid wash jeans, bright red lipstick, ready for the big night scene. A box of red wine, hot dogs on the barbecue, lawn chairs and patio lights, and a dinner for two. Main attraction tonight, radio bingo. Maybe we'll get lucky, steam up the windows, looking at the moon from the backseat of your car. Ford upon blocks, still we manage to go far. Living and loving in a trailer park, where every drink and song is known by heart. Sipping on a bit of moonshine from sunrise to dawn. Say you're making out with your cousin. Yeah, we're living and loving in a trailer park. Well, there's a party going on tonight down at the Pink Flamingo. One slow dance to Jack Daniels, everybody's single. Someone's knocked up, someone gets knocked down. That's how we roll in this single wide town. Living and loving in a trailer park, where every cheating song is known by heart. The skinny dipping in the headlights long after dark. Well, there's one more fun in the oven. Yeah, we're living and loving in a trailer park. It's not a party till you see blue and red lights. The lights down or it's a new band radio cheating heart. We're singing Whiskey River with Willie long after dark. Wearing nothing but boots and Stetson in this redneck heaven. Yeah, we're living and loving in a trailer park. Yeah, we're living and loving in a trailer park. Yeah, we're living and loving in a trailer park.
Welcome back to NL Now. I'm here today at the interview desk with someone that you can see just about every day here on NTV. She's one of the many journalists and newscasters that brings us all the important information each night. Please welcome Toni-Marie Wiseman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well, Gary. Thank you for inviting me on to your show.
Yes, thank you so much for coming.
I have never been on a talk show before, so you'll have to excuse me, I'm very, very excited to be here.
Yes. So I want to start off by going all the way back to the beginning of your career and ask why you wanted to get into this industry.
I always enjoyed writing. I always enjoyed reading and reading out loud. And when I was a young child, I would hide in my closet with a tape recorder and a microphone, and I would interview all of my dollies and my stuffed toys.
Yes.
And so it's something I think that I didn't even realize what I was doing, but I guess I was preparing myself for my future career. And then while I was in school, in high school, I was always the person that got asked by the teacher to read whenever she left the classroom. You know, Toni-Marie, would you mind reading the next chapter for us? So I got a lot of practice there. So it's something I guess I gravitated to, and I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, so since you started your career, what would you say have been some of the biggest changes in the industry?
Well, technology has been huge. When I started with NTV, our scripts that we read, we were on, I don't even know what you would call it. I guess it was printed on like a dot matrix printer. There were 3 levels of sheets. There was a white script for the anchors. There was a pink script, a yellow script, and a green script, and they went into production to follow along what we would read. So that was different. And it was on kind of a spool on a track. So if the printer went off at all, all the leads would, print in a weird way. So there's that, so the advancements in computers, advancements in cameras. I mean, look at the quality of the studio cameras that you even have here, Gary. I mean, a lot of things have changed. We had smartphones. We didn't have smartphones when I started. I know that seems hard to believe. And even the way we record, just before I started with NTV, they still had to splice tape. So when they edited, they actually had to cut tape and cut videotape, I should say, or film, and then edit that together, splice it together with tape and everything. So we didn't have to do that. But when I started, we started with a format that was called 3/4-inch tapes. So they were tapes that were about this big and about this thick, and now we've gone to little video cards. So a lot has changed.
Can you remember what your first day at NTV was like?
I do, actually. I remember it was October 9th, 1989, so it's coming up to 32 years, very long time ago. And it was a holiday. It was a Thanksgiving Monday holiday. So my very first day at NTV, I worked with Darren Bent, and we went to a couple of craft shows. So that was kind of different and interesting. And then I got a day off for working on a holiday, so it was pretty fun.
Yes. Now, does any particular moment stand out as a highlight of your career?
Oh my gosh, in 32 years, I've seen a lot and I've done a lot.
Yes.
I've interviewed a lot of very interesting people. Some were really lovely, some weren't quite as lovely. But people like Gordon Pinsent, what a sweet man, what an adorable man. Another person who was really interesting was Ravine, the impossibilist, I think he called himself. He was very interesting and very lovely. I've interviewed a lot of rock bands, from Bon Jovi and Big Sugar, and I've performed with the Moscow State Circus. I even performed with the Garbage Bag with Buddy West's Name and the other fellers. So quite a lot of fun things.
Yes. Now, over the past year and a half now, I'd say it has been a bit different for everyone out working with the COVID-19 pandemic. So what are some of the biggest changes that have affected the way you do your job?
Well, for a good period of time, the entire newsroom was split into categories. So we had a group of us that worked from home, a group that worked in one of our other studios where we host the Janeway Telethon.
Right.
And then there were probably 3 or 4 of us that stayed in the newsroom. So it was very quiet. Newsrooms are very noisy. So for that period of time, it was quite quiet. We wore masks, of course. We sat, way more than 6 feet apart. And the gathering of news was different. So a lot of, many of our interviews would come into the building, and we couldn't do that anymore. So we did a lot. We learned how to use Zoom and Skype, didn't we? Quite a bit. And, things, like that. So we used Skype. Even when we did go out and do in-person interviews, the microphone was on a very long pole, about 6 feet. We still use those, actually, when we interview people now.
You just mentioned the Janeway Telethon, and I know that NTV is a big part of that. It gets aired here over 2 days every year, and you're one of the many hosts that keeps things moving along. So why do you think it's so important to be involved in these community events and charities?
Well, you kind of touched on it right there. It's a community event. So it's an event that affects and can help every child in our province. And I'm a mom. I have an almost 11-year-old daughter. So I know how important it is to have the very best quality of care for my child and for every child across the province. I also think it's incumbent of those of us who are in the public eye to give back in any way we can. And it's a small way that I can do that, and I can feel part of something that is much bigger and is very, very important.
Yeah. Now, what would you say is one of your favorite things about your job?
Meeting people. If I wasn't doing my job, I wouldn't be sitting here with you, Gary.
I guess that's right.
So meeting the many people. I also work with a really, really great group of people.
Yes.
They're my dearest and closest friends. So that would be a good highlight. And staying up to date on everything that's happening in the world is also pretty fun, pretty unique.
So now we're going to do a thing I like to play with all my guests. It's called Get to Know Me. So I'll ask you 5 questions, and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head.
Uh-oh.
Your favorite food?
Pecan pie.
Your favorite color?
Yellow.
Your favorite song?
I have many, many songs. I would say No One Is to Blame.
Your favorite thing to do on a day off?
Do things with my daughter, spend time with my daughter and my husband.
And if you could have the chance to do a sit-down interview with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm getting to do this. This is a big thrill for me. Anyone. Gosh, I don't know. There are so many. It's a tough one, and I've interviewed so many people. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank, Gary.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Maybe you?
Maybe. I think that'd be pretty fun.
I think it would be very fun.
Yes. Now, Toni, before we go, the last question I'd like to ask is, what advice would you give to any young journalist or really anyone out there who's trying to follow their dreams or make a step forward in their career?
Is to listen to yourself. Take constructive criticism, take advice from people around you. But I think you really need to look inside yourself and know that this is what you really want to do. And then don't be dissuaded. You know, I'm sure when you started out hosting your own talk show, maybe there were people that said, oh, I don't know if that's going to work, Gary, but look at you now.
Yes.
You're on a major network and you're hosting your own show. So I would say never give up. If it's something you really want to do, just focus on it, learn everything you can about it, and to just go for it.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, Toni, but thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Gary. It's been a real pleasure. You are a wonderful host, and hopefully I'll get to see many, many, many more episodes.
Yes. Don't go away, folks. NL Now will be right back after this short break with an interview and another song from Ladylike. Hi everybody, Lou here. I hope you're enjoying the Season 2 NTV premiere of NL Now. Gary asked me to come out here and remind everyone that if you missed a previous episode of the show or want to check out a preview for future shows and all that fun stuff, you can check out our YouTube channel, NL Now Productions, or our Facebook, NL Now Productions, and you'll get all of that right there. We are here now on the musical guest set with Ladylike. How are you all doing today?
Very
Good.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thanks you. Thanks for having us.
So first of all, I'd love to ask how and when the three of you formed as a group.
Well, myself and Terri played in a band called The Secrets, and we one of our band members, through the COVID and the pandemic things, one of our band members decided to go and do her own thing, and so we decided to keep going and add a new band member.
Yeah.
Miss Carole Bestfather, and so we formed a new band, and here we are. So that was in January, yes,
Yeah.
of this year.
Pretty
yeah.
fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys just finished a little while ago a few shows at the Arts and Culture Centers here in the province. Now, I was at the show in St. John's, and it was
nice.
great.
Oh,
Thank
so
you for
glad.
coming.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so how does it feel to be able to get back to doing these live shows now that the pandemic is sort of settling down a little?
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
It is.
It
yeah,
is.
it's
It
truly
is.
Get
you
back
know.
to doing, what we always did, us as artists and as musicians, kind of lost without that avenue. So it's
Yeah.
nice to
Yes.
get back into it.
Yeah, now here's an interesting one I like to ask a lot of my musical guests, and that's if there's any particular musical artist or group you could pick to collaborate on a song with, who would it be and why?
Oh my.
Well, it's easy for me, of
Yeah.
course. Patty Loveless, Ruben Skill, hands down.
Who I want to collaborate with has passed away, so I won't ever be able to get to do it. But it's George Jones.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love too many people to know how to choose.
Yes.
It's hard. Ooh,
Hard question.
Hard question.
Now, do you guys have anything new or exciting coming up that you'd like to speak about?
We do.
Yeah, we have a new single actually that just came out,
Okay.
and so we're working hard at promoting that, and we're going to sing that for you in a little bit. But
Perfect.
this song is particularly important to us as members of the LGBTQ community. Myself and Terri, we're excited to have this song out into the world. So, and that's what this song is kind of dedicated to, and try and help represent that community.
Perfect. Well, thank you once again so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, folks at home, don't go away. We will be right back after this very short commercial break with another song from Ladylike to close out this morning's show.
Finally made it to Friday night, tired of working overtime, heading home to a glass of Merlot when the tire had to go and blow. A kind soul in a red Dodge Ram said, "Hey, do you need a hand?" I know I could have changed that spare, but I swear I fell in love right there. I ain't no Cinderella, won't be saved by no fella. Damn, I ain't no damsel in distress. While that crowbar was spinning, was like a fairy tale beginning. From the moment that our eyes first met, oh, like a knight in shining armor, kind of darling, Princess Charming. Those old storybooks got it all wrong. The heroes never had lipstick on. We went where Disney never goes and kissed right there on the side of the road. I ain't no Cinderella, won't be saved by no fella. Damn, I ain't no damsel in distress. While that crowbar
Well, my friends, that is all that we have for you today here on NL Now. I'd like to thank our special guest stars, Toni-Marie Wiseman, and of course our musical guests, Ladylike. Come back again next week for another all-new edition of the show. In the interview chair, I will have Newfoundland's own Broadway star, Patrina Bromley. I'll see you there next Saturday, 10:30 Newfoundland time on Canada's Superstation, NTV.